If it bleeds, we can kill it. Check out that outstanding view right there. All right, let's kick this year off. We're mid-January, and I'm thinking we do something a little bit different, and we come up with solo overnight using the dream team of military surplus gear. Let's get to our spot and get her done. All right, cloudy skies, no rain in the forecast, but you never know. We're looking at high 20s, low in the teens, Fahrenheit, and that's a cool backdrop. I'm digging that. Okay, so this video right here is something I've wanted to do for a while. It's not a bucket list item, but it's going to involve several different military surplus items from different countries, but I want to stick with an era. I'm thinking the Cold War, right after the World War II, all the way up to late 80s, early 90s. And yes, Cold War in the late 80s. Why? Because the Cold War didn't end until David Hasselhoff sang in Berlin and the walls came tumbling down. This right here is a 1968, I believe, or 69 Arvin backpack. It was made by the US military for the Vietnamese who fought against the Viet Cong. And this, to me, is one of the holy grails of backpacks, and here's why. This, along with the GI's tropical rucksack, both had this internal frame right here, which led to the standard frame that we use for an Alice pack. This pack itself, with the large dump pouches here, there's one here and one here, again combined with the GI's tropical rucksack, led to what we know as an Alice pack today. The Marine Corps, we called it Deuce gear, and we have a standard nylon Y harness, as I just mentioned, that goes down, it's like suspenders, goes down and supports a butt pack or ass pack. Then we have two nylon pouches here for a plastic NBC capped canteen. One here and one here. You want this thing to ride along your waist or your lumbar region. Clip in the front, and your suspenders are here, supporting the weight in the front as well as the back. There's our NBC cap right there. A plastic straw would actually be attached to this, to a gas mask, so you could take cool sips of hot water out in the desert. We have our aluminum canteen cup. On that one there we had a stove. Slides in there. This way I can actually boil water if I have to, or get that cup of coffee. So one thing I wanted to pull out of the archives here is something that's pretty cool, and it's made its way around the internet, and really famous by a guy called Endurance Room. Check him out on YouTube. Endurance Room, who's actually a student of mine. This is a Russian poncho, a Russian cloak tent, sometimes referred to as a Plosh Palatka. Plosh Palatka, comrade. I actually seen these things in use and fell in love with them. Okay, good news and bad news. The bad news is they're supposed to send me 2 of these so I could actually button it together and create a really cool looking structure. The good news is I'm going to be forced to make it work. So my initial plan was to combine these tent poles that actually go together from a military shelter half and get the job done. So we're still going to do that, but it'd be more of a condensed version, and hopefully it works out. Yeah, so I'm 6 foot, and this thing's built for somebody who's about 5'5". So imagine being in the fetal position all night. Possible? Yes. If you had to, would it work? Yeah, but it'd be rough. So, plan B. Okay, so it's not the shelter that we want, but it's a shelter we're gonna get. Why? Because I only have one half and I'm too big. So moving on to our dream team or holy grail of old school gear or surplus gear. For our blanket, as part of our shelter system, I have a military poncho and our woobie blanket. I'm gonna combine the two, fold it in half, and create a lightweight sleeping bag or burrito woobie in the woods. As always, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon influencer page, and 2, my Self-Reliance Outfitters influencer page. And if you're interested in Corporals Corner merchandise, that can be found on Teespring. All 3 links are found inside my description box. Go ahead and talk cutting tools. I brought 2 of them. The first one is the obvious choice, the Usmc K Bar. Now, a lot of people give me a lot of crap and say, you're a Marine, you should be out there bushcrafting with a K Bar. Maybe I should. Here's why I don't. I prefer a Scandi grind. It's a lot easier to sharpen. 1095 carbon steel, that way it will throw sparks off the back end of it. And I prefer a full tang, meaning the blade passes through that handle. And it is the exact same width as the blade itself. It's a lot harder to break. This one here has a rat tail tang, and you can see that by looking right back here. It also has a pin inside of it. If I were to try to split any wood with this or do any hardcore task with this, it's going to, first off, dull pretty quickly. Second, the blade, I've actually seen these things snap or shear right off. So we're going to keep this for the utility / fighting days. The second thing we have here is a precursor to the Camelus. This is a World War II U.S. Marine Corps pocket knife. It has a stainless steel outer shell with carbon steel implements. Check this out. So moving on to heavy ASS pieces of gear, we have this Ames 1966 shovel. Now, yes, it's not an E-tool, and some people will be like, he doesn't have an E-tool, get a rope. Well, here's the thing. You've seen me build several shelters, especially a large dugout shelter with this. And I prefer this one because it's more robust. It also has a pickaxe right here on the end of it. So I can actually tighten this thing down, and it will give me an option to chisel away or get those large chunks and break them loose, or fold the thing completely up like so and dig, or this option right here, the infamous NCO seat. Moving on to cooking. Now, we're talking about the dream team of military surplus. So the first thing I want to kick this off with is a stove. Okay, this thing right here I've wanted one of these for a long time, and I finally got one for Christmas. Now, this one right here is 1966. It's a Coleman stove. It takes white gas or unleaded gasoline. And the Marine Corps actually carried this for a short while. That was a little wrench right there. But this thing is awesome. It says Coleman 1966 right here. Still has the directions right there of how to light this bad boy. And the area, the surface area for these burners, as you can see, you get a large pot on here. And it's very simple. Gas goes in right here. Pump it, pump it, pump it about 10 times. You have your button right here to switch it over to open, and then ignite, and then off. And pretty much you have this canister. And for me, what makes it kind of cool is it's an early version of what we have now, but it runs on unleaded gasoline. So back in that day, you can go to a vehicle, siphon out gas, and you can cook your food. So I'm looking forward to this tonight. We have our carrying case right here. Goes right inside here, like so. Wrench slides in. We have our cap. It goes on and then locks in place. Along with that, we have our fuel canister. On top here it says open. You just turn this valve right here and you can hear it. And close. So, I believe this is probably about a quart of fuel that can go inside here, white gas or unleaded. Now, our cook set. This is a bit much for being out here on a solo overnighter, but here's what I like the most. It's 3 containers in one. The top lid pops right off and you have a skillet. That's the same size skillet that you guys see me use week after week. 8-inch skillet, okay? That's outstanding, all right? Also says 1953 on it, US. Inside we have a bush pot, inside another bush pot. So you have bales on both of these, and you can see that's probably about a gallon or more of water between the both of these. So I have 3 containers inside one. Oh my God. That was good. Still good. 25 years later. Catch you all in a few. Man, oh man. Chili mac, baby. Okay, so midway through 2022. You can hear that steam just burning off there, all that moisture. This is all wet from that snow last week. You can hear it. Anyway, a couple changes to my videos. Well, one major change to the comment section. Feel free to post. I will be selective of who I respond to, and here's why. Over the 14 years of doing this, it's exactly the same. I did a small experiment last week. I had that green jacket on, that wool jacket from Leicester River, and I said within the first 2 minutes, at least 4 or 5 times, you can find this, Google Leicester River boreal jacket. And I probably got 1,000 questions asking me, who makes that jacket? That tells me people are just hammering the skip button. So I've expressed before I enjoy doing what I do. I have 30 to 40 hours a week wrapped up in getting to a location, getting all this done, editing, uploading, etc. And those that take this serious have probably about the same, if not more. But if my videos are not important enough to watch, then I'll be selective as to whether or not the comment is important enough for me to answer, especially if it's answered in the video 3, 4, or 5 times. It's not to be an a-hole, it's not to single anybody out, it's just I'm going to leave that comment blank and move on to somebody who actually needs help or their question was not in the video. What I'm trying to get at is it's too much time for me out of my day to sit there and do that. So you know where I'm coming from. Please watch the video. Watch them all the way to the end. And most of the time your questions will be answered. The old M16A2. It's a rifle that is 5.56 millimeter, magazine fed, gas operated, air cooled, shoulder fire weapon. Designed for semi-automatic or 3-round burst. Those were the days. I'm sitting here thinking, this can't truly be a holy grail dream team of military surplus unless we have a chemical light. So, without further ado, there we go. Look at that. Hang this bad boy right here. So pretty much we'll talk about the shelter in the morning like usual. I do apologize for this video. I wanted 2 of these Russian cloak tents and they sent me 1. So we had to improvise and make do. So if the video is not up to par or to your liking or not good enough, I do apologize. I'll always try again next time. Got a couple ideas. I'm going to try and shift gears next week. I'm going to try to. I got something I want to try to do. But it depends on the weather and permission. So yeah, look forward to that. Last thing, check out Endurance Room. Once again, it's called Endurance Room. That's where I got this idea from. He's a cool dude, and he has a very underrated channel. Check him out, give him a bump, tell him I sent you. And with that, I'm going to stoke this fire, catch you all in the morning. So yeah, it was a rough night. MRE coffee. Still tastes like crap 25 years later. All right, let's talk about the shelter. Briefly touched on it. The design is solid. If we had a larger tarp, it would have worked out well. I was hoping for 2 halves. I paid for 2 halves and they sent me 1. So I'm sure they'll blame COVID or some darn thing, but we improvised, made it work in a diamond plow configuration. And for the most part, it worked till about 1, 2-ish. And then what you saw me doing, hugging that fire, trapping that heat with my whoopee, that's basically what I did most of the night. We improvised, we adapted, we overcame. Other than that, this would have been truly a dream team, holy grail setup of military surplus. We had best of both worlds in the Cold War, and everything was time specific. The youngest thing we had here was an MRE, but those came out in the early to mid 80s. So everything fit. And there we go. Solo overnight using the dream team or holy grail of military surplus. don't fix what's not broken, and it's old, but not obsolete. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. One on my Amazon influencer page, and 2 my Self-Reliance Outfitters influencer page. And if you're interested in Corporals Corner merchandise, that can be found on Teespring. All 3 links are found inside my description box. Now please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time. If it bleeds, we can kill it.